Level up your LA Kings experience with the new Vivid Seats Elite Seats. All the on-ice Kings action with even more exclusive access. Enjoy great seats to the game along with premier dining inside the Lexus Club with all-you-can-eat food and non-alcoholic beverages. Plus, get a free Team LA Kings item and parking with your purchase. Score your Vivid Seats Elite Seats tickets today and earn rewards on each purchase from the only ticket company that rewards you for buying. Experience it live with Vivid Seats, the official partner of the LA Kings.
You're listening to an LA Kings podcast. For more episodes of this and every other Kings program, visit lakings.com/podcast.
You're listening to All the Kings Men, the official podcast of the LA Kings. Now, here's your host, Jesse Cohen.
Joining me right now, Jared Shaffrin, who is our point. What are we calling you? Are you running the rookie showcase?
I'm a guy who's here.
All right. And Zach Dooley, how are you doing, Zach?
Jesse, I'm good. I have no role at all.
Well, you're making sure I don't leave anything out because I wanted to make sure this information led this episode off. Jared, how can people watch the rookie showcase if they want to?
So I think the key here is that the distribution of the streaming is done by the team. So if you're a Kings fan, which most likely you are if you're listening to this, you go to lakings.com. They will have the stream at lakings.com for all three of the games at the Rookie Face-Off. If you would like to watch someone else play for another team and you want to watch a different game, that game will be streamed. It's up to that team whether they provide it out of the LA market. But for the Kings, if you're in the LA market, definitively, you can watch the Kings at lakings.com, and maybe you might be able to watch Utah or San Jose or Colorado because at their own websites, they'll be having streams for these games as well.
What if there's a Kings fan like my father, for example, who lives in South Carolina? Can he watch those three Kings games on lakings.com?
At the time of this recording, I think the answer is yes, but right. I can't say 100% certain. I can tell you this much, that the LA Kings are doing everything they can possible to make sure that your father can watch
and other people's fathers.
And other people, players' families are also very interested in this. So yes, we expect that that's hopefully the case.
So do you have to put in confirmation that you're a father to be able to watch it, or is it open to everybody? No. First time ever that this would even be a possibility. Since I've been here, at least the Rookie Face-Off has been limited to the LA market only.
And that was the information that was spread in the original report. So that's why I want to stress right now, if you're listening to this,
driven, not Kings driven.
And I think when initially it was, the first press release that went out about this, which did say that, the games would be available on the Kings website, we didn't have all the information yet from the NHL about how we could do this. So it's been an evolving process for everyone here on the team side that's involved in the planning, just because we haven't had all the information right from day one. Some of it's kind of come in late, and we're under the wire trying to, like I said, make it available for everybody, which would be great. I mean, so many outstanding players that are going to be here in LA for this event, and we want everyone to see it.
So just to be clear, if you want to watch a Kings game, lakings.com. If you want to, for some reason, watch Macklin Celebrini play for the San Jose Sharks, sanjosesharks.com. It should not be geo-locked. It should not be dependent on your
Well, and again, the San Jose Sharks have the rights to potentially geo-lock it. That's why I don't want to say for another team. I know that for the Kings games, for the Kings games, we are very interested in not having that happen. So we would love it to be available for everybody, that's what we're trying to do. I think most of the teams are alike in their thinking, but it's up to the team in the league on some of those things, which is why I don't want to misspeak about somebody else's stream.
That's fair. So then if somebody listening to this lives in the Southern California area and was thinking to themselves, hey, maybe I'll just pop into the Saturday game or the Monday game, that is not an option, correct?
No, unfortunately, the games are not open to the public. We did have an on-sale period for season ticket members for the Kings for the Reign, so there were some tickets that were available for purchase for those people that buy tickets for us for every game that we have here in Southern California. Unfortunately, the restriction here at Toyota Sports Performance Center, if you have been here and you have popped in for a practice or for another event, you know that there's not that many seats. And this event is heavily scouted, so unfortunately there has to be a lot of scouts for all 32 NHL teams will probably have representatives here. Some teams probably send more than one representative because this is the largest rookie event in the NHL this week. 30 of the 32 teams are participating in events like this, but none of them have 7 teams like ours do. So there's a lot of people that want to get in for the teams. There's a lot of people, like we said, for the staff for each of these teams that have to be here. All of the scouting staff, so like the LA Kings themselves. When we go to another event in Vegas or in San Jose over the last couple of years, we've brought numerous amounts of scouts and other personnel to watch this. So we need to be able to reciprocate for the other teams like they've allowed us to bring those people in. We had to save a certain number of seats for those people. There's only a few hundred seats at the Toyota Sports Performance Center. So we were able to offer tickets to some fans, but we do not have daily or any tickets on sale for any days or the whole weekend to the public. So we apologize for that. Obviously, it would have been great to have it in a bigger venue, but that wasn't the opportunity that we had, and this is the best way we could do it.
All right, that's logistics. Now we're going to get into the on-ice details with Marco Sturm and me and Zach. Thanks, Jared. Thanks for joining us. Joining us today, courtesy of Vivid Seats, head coach of the Ontario Reign, Marco Sturm. How are you doing today, Marco?
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And featuring Zach Dooley. How are you doing today, Zach?
Jesse, I feel like you've forgotten to introduce me like 4 episodes in a row, so I'm glad to be back.
got it this time.
Back in the intro.
First things first I want to cover, Marco, is the roster for the Rookie Showcase, which begins on Friday. There are a number of Kings prospects, Francesco Pinelli, Angus Booth, Jacob Dvorak, Cohen Zemer. There's a number of AHL contracted players who aren't necessarily Kings prospects, but that you will have a chance to coach directly. And then there's a number of camp invitees. So you have 3 games. There's no, obviously you want to win all 3 of them, but it's not a tournament, right? There's no elimination round or anything like that. So how do you balance the ice time out amongst the different types of players?
I mean, my job is to give everyone the chance to showcase themselves, right? To be the best they can be. Obviously we have our draft picks. That's that's going to be the main focus, not just for you guys or the fans or whatever it is. It's also, I think, for us coaches, management. We all want to see our guys perform, and there's some other guys who are invites as well. It's not like I'm not going to look at them, but I experienced the last couple of years that there is always a surprise or two. So I'm always excited about them too, and see how they can play at this level and maybe get a contract out of it. Who knows, right? So it's always an exciting time event for us coaches to see those kind of type of different players, but also I'm always curious too how my guys I had last year, how they perform this year. There's the new draft picks this year. We have a first rounder, so it's always there's always excitement for sure.
Are you maybe focusing a little bit more on the guys you had last year because you kind of know a baseline for a Pinelli or a Krieger? Is it an easier evaluation because you kind of know where they're at coming in?
Yeah, for sure. I want them, and hopefully they do. They take it to the next level, right? And I always believe in having a good summer. That rookie tournament is a good chance to prove me as a head coach. As, hey, listen, coach, I'm ready for this year. And just for example, last year we had Andre Lee. I thought he was outstanding. He was ready to go, and he showed it all year long. So I hope Pinelli and Krieger, those are the next ones, and hopefully they can show it as well. And again, but I mentioned already Green Tree, but also we got the goalie too. George going to be. Going to be one of my highlights for this tournament.
So let's talk about the goaltending, because you have 5 goalies. There's only 3 games. One of them's Eric Portillo.
I've heard there's only one net. Yeah.
One of them's Carter George, who was the second overall pick, and you seem just as excited about him as I was after talking to him. Yeah. We talked to Nelson Emerson already about the decision-making process on how many minutes each goalie will get. Is it even within the realm of possibility that one of the 5 guys doesn't play at all?
We had you're lucky. We just had a meeting today, so
oh, perfect.
It's the plan is that everyone will have a chance to play. some goalies will have the opportunity for more minutes than others, but as of right now, we will see everyone in one of the games. And how it usually works is that this is a decision from our goalie department, and also, of course, management and Blakey and but the goalies, I always try to stay out of it. So I'm just gonna do what they tell me to do.
My favorite goalie explanation is still Glenn Murray. He's like, yeah, he either stops the puck or he doesn't stop. And it's like, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, right? That's the position.
Yeah, and he's right though. But I'm also a coach, and everyone is different. There's some coaches that get really involved in everything, and even they know, every technique everyone plays. I try to stay out of it. I always believe in my goalie coaches, and I trust them, and let them do all the work.
Biggest name on the list is probably Eric Portillo. I mean, so good for you guys last year with the Reign. Very exciting prospect. Is this tournament, though, maybe a little bit less important even for him? Like, we know what he did in the AHL. We know what he's expected to do this year. Is it kind of like getting him up to speed for what's to come more than like what is his goals against average in this event?
No, I think personally it's really important for him just to, he had a good season. Can he do it again? Or can he be even better than last year? All right. It's tough to do, but he's very competitive. So he will try. He can't get out of the gate slow. So hopefully he's going to have the right mindset. The way I know him, he will. And I expect him to be really good. Might be a little bit rusty than everyone else, but I expect him to be a good goalie for us this tournament.
You mentioned that you had a meeting earlier today. I'm assuming that was front office staff. How much time do you get talking to the players before game? I mean, game one's Friday at 7.
Yep.
How much time do you actually get with the team before, from Monday till Friday?
Yeah, not much. We're going to have an opening meeting today. Just give them a little bit heads up and give them the information they need for this tournament. Tomorrow will be our only practice, right? So we're going to practice once. We're going to do just a little bit of video. Guys usually come in very nervous, so you got to be very careful with the information, how much information you're going to give them. But we kind of have our coaches have a kind of like a routine we did, like the way we did it the last couple of years, and we felt like there was the right amount too, and even practice with all the information and stuff like that. So not much. That's why sometimes the games can be a little wild, during those kind of games and stretches. But overall, they those guys compete, and we want them to compete, and we want them to have success and also to have fun.
Is this where you're going to lean on guys like Francesco Pinelli, Brant Clark, Krieger, guys that you have experience with to sort of help get them to maybe pass the message on what the team is looking for, what the routine is?
Yes, and will be one of my keys tonight at my meeting, that how important it was in the past since I'm doing the rookie camp, that the leadership, right? And again, last year we had a guy like Lee, even some other guys. This year I'm going to lean on Pinelli, and I think those guys are ready for it, right? And I like to lead, and even Clark, he's young, but he can lead the team, and also or just his little defenseman group. So I expect again the same thing from different guys this year.
For Clark, all of last year he was spent playing again with and against older players, right? NHL, AHL, he's the youngest guy on the ice. This is one of the only times he'll play against his peers. Like, what do you look for from a guy like that, whether it's on or off the ice in a tournament like this, knowing how high his skill is?
Yeah, no, he's an exciting player. We all know that. We all hope and believe that he will be in the Kings lineup game one, and again, I I saw him the other day. He looks really good. He looks like he put some weight on, and he worked really hard this summer. So that rookie camp, the game or two you will play, it's not going to be because it's different. He's going to play against more like kids than NHL guys. I think it should be a good, I would say, warm-up for him, but also, of course, show what he got against some really good talent. But as soon as the Kings start, training camp day one, he has to be the guy, right? And he's got to show it right away. And if there's one guy who can do it, I think it's going to be him.
Let's talk about the opposite side of the spectrum. Liam Greentree is a first-round pick. He's a forward. He's known for his offense. You've got 3 games, 1 practice. What's more important for you to see from Liam Greentree? To see him dominate and show off offensive flash, or to do the things, the little things, the support things, to play the game the right way?
Yeah, I like your second point better probably than your first one. It's just, I never look at how many goals he's going to score or how many points and all that kind of stuff. Can he play the right way, right? I think that shows right away. Usually with those junior kids, are they ready or not? Or this guy might need another year or even 2. So it's going to be great for us, right? Because I could tell you right away after the tournament, after those 2-3 games he's going to play, that, okay, where is he at, right? How much time does he need? So, again, I want him to play the right way. He doesn't have to be a different guy. Just be himself, and the rest, we will help him out, and also the rest we will figure it out.
Another guy that I'm interested in is Atu Yamson. You haven't maybe had the chance to coach him a ton, but he's not a traditional rookie too, right? Like, he's played a lot of pro hockey. Like, where's he at? What kind of player do the Kings have in Atu?
Yeah, no, he was around the last couple of years, so I know exactly how kind of player he is. The difference this year is that he will stay, so he will definitely be in Ontario. So that means, this is another guy who can show me right away that I want to be in a lineup. I will be one of those, players I can trust, and that's going to be totally up to him. So for me, it's always the players, right? It's up to them, and if they perform and play the right way, the way I want it, then I automatically give him more ice time and maybe more love as well.
You've got 2 players on the roster who are eligible to return to the CHL or to play in the AHL, Cohen Ziemer and Jacob Dvorak. The decision won't come down ultimately just to you, but it's their first 3 games, their first opportunity to make a case for themselves. What do they have to do to get your endorsement to maybe stay in the AHL this season rather than return back to the CHL?
Yeah, no, first of all, I will, those 2 guys, I will give them the best opportunity, I would say, to be fair and also to perform and have success, to have a crack in the lineup. So that will be my thing with them. Again, if I start with Devo, he's an interesting kid. I really liked him.
We're talking about Dvorak?
Dvorak, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
I really liked him last year, the way he came in, and he could be a guy like I don't know, maybe like Mike Anderson. It's just very doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Even Movari, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Plays hard, always in the right position. I think he has the size for already to be an AHL player, and so hopefully he can grab it. Ziemer, it was a learning process for him last year for sure, and so again, it will be very interesting to see where he's at this year.
Dvorak played a few games in the WHL second half of last year. How big is the adjustment for him or for Yamson coming from European ice to NHL ice? Or is it maybe not as big as you might think it is?
Yeah, no, it's big. being a European and
You'd know. Yeah.
and coming over, it's hard. I do believe it will be easier for Dvorak. I think not just because he played here for a little bit, but also being a defenseman. I think it helps a little bit. As a forward, you don't have that freedom. I think Jamson he's a skilled guy, so he likes a lot of freedom, right? He will not have that here in a small rink, so that will be probably the biggest adjustment.
In 2000, I want to say it was 18-19, the Kings started that season, the summer of 2018, the rookie camp. If I'm not mistaken, they lost all the games at the showcase that year. They lost all their preseason games, and that kind of set a tone, even though theoretically it has nothing to do with how the rest of the season went. It was rookie camp, it was preseason. But are you aware of it's being hosted in this building, it's the first game in the new jerseys? Like, does that add any extra pressure or awareness to what you guys are doing? To like, this one maybe is a little bit more important than your average rookie showcase?
Yeah, maybe not the jersey, but sure. being at home for sure. Mm-hmm. We have everyone in town. We have some scouts. We have family. We have the fans, the media. We have everyone here, so it should help them to get all excited. But regardless where we at, I do believe in. I like what you said. I believe in setting the tone early, and it doesn't matter if it's early in the season, if it's in practice early on in the season, if it's the rookie camp, for example. And again, this is what I believe, and you don't want to start that way. You really don't. And it's if you start that in a rookie tournament, it might carry it over to the preseason. It might carry it over to the regular season, and then all of a sudden we're in 18-19, but they give me a job, right? Then I came in. So hopefully not going to happen to me this year. But again, hopefully what I'm saying is I do believe that as a coach. I believe that in a player. I do want them to have success, but also to set the tone early, to send a message. Also to the opponent people going to play, that the Kings, we might lack on draft picks or on young kids right now, just where we at with the Kings right now. But there's a San Jose and some other, Anaheim. They're collecting a lot of draft picks in the past, so they might be more skilled than that. But but it also comes a lot from the heart, and it's about work and effort and attitude, and that's what we try to show right from the start.
I look at last year, like Alex Laferriere. I feel like he came into rookie, scored a couple goals, and just didn't stop scoring throughout the whole preseason. Is that an example of like a guy who built momentum at this tournament and took it into main camp? Exactly.
I mean, there was great stories, right? And Laffy is one of them. I was here with Blake Lazard was another one, and even Andre Lee last year, he had a fight. He never had a fight, but he got out of his comfort zone a little bit, and that's why I gave him also the seat. So there's a lot of, I think, great moments in those kind of tournaments, and hopefully one of our guys this year will have some moments we can talk about hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
Willing to share who will wear the C this year, or
actually we didn't talk about it yet. That's going to be a game time decision.
All right.
But I mean, you guys are smart enough too. I think there's a couple guys probably in my mind, and I also have to check with management what I have, and those guys will definitely do it.
I want to pivot a little bit to talk about the upcoming Ontario Reign season. The last, I don't remember how many years, it's been really clear that the Ontario Reign play the same system as the LA Kings in order to help players transitioning from one league to the other. This offseason, Jim Hiller was named, officially as the head coach. It's not clear what changes there will be to the system played from under Todd McClellan, but it's been implied heavily that there will be some changes. How much of that has been already expressed to you, and how expected are you to mirror those changes for the Reign?
Yeah, no, I'm a big believer that, that we as a minor league and also with our Ontario Reign, that we have to play the same system as the Kings, because I want guys to go up if they get called up. I want them to play the right way, exactly like Jimmy wants, right? And that's why I'm doing that too. And I believe that I've been on the other side. When I was with the Kings as a coach, I seen kids coming up, and if they don't know, it's not even their fault, right? I think it's on us coaches to teach them the right way, and the same way like the big guys. No, it will be. I'm sorry, I will be not the guy who's going to tell you what's going to change.
Yeah.
Because I know it already. You're probably not going to see, maybe a little bit. You're going to catch something at the rookie camp, but. We were meeting, like always. I think NHL coaches, they do that. Sometimes some other teams do it more than others, but we were involved in, the meetings, going through the system. And, there will be obviously some changes throughout that. And my job is, try to do the same thing with my guys. And, will be a little bit different, but we still have time to work on that and hopefully get the head ready and clear for day one.
Talk about guys you want them to be ready when they go up. Number of guys you had last year look to be about ready to go up. Your Turcottes, Thomases, Fagimos. How important was the playoff run for those guys last year and building into NHL careers? And do you see those guys as being right about there, ready to make that jump to the Kings?
Yeah, I really do. And playoff for me always helps because I do believe you grow as a person and also most importantly as a hockey player. You're going to go through some up and downs, and you can do it better than in the playoffs. So that I think that really helped. But overall, you could just see those specific guys, and that's why they were hopefully with the Kings all season long, is that throughout the season they really took it to the next level. So I'm very, very excited. Like, on the other side, a little bit sad to see them go, but this is also my job, and it's always nice to see those kids get called up and getting a chance. And and for us, Reign, it's definitely going to be different, right? I think we've been very fortunate in the past that we had always the same core. Now that core is moving on like it should be, and so now we have to dig deep again and find our identity and get that culture back, like stuff we created in the past.
That's three kind of top six forwards plus TJ Tynan. That's a lot of top six forwards who are out the door. Is it an opportunity for maybe a Pinelli to earn a bigger role than he had last year, or other guys in that range to go from a not even in the lineup every night to like, I can stake my claim as like a guy for this team?
Yeah, no, it's we lost a lot of goals, we lost a lot of points, good players, but like you said, it gives other players the opportunity to shine, and who knows? Hopefully, there's someone who has a career year, hopefully, who's been hiding, and so those are, and I think that's where the minors is all about too. Obviously we want to win. I am getting very mad if you don't, but also my job is, and our job as coaches is to develop, and I think we did a pretty good job the last few years, and we're gonna try again, with a different group, different players this year.
As a coach, the more options you have, obviously, the easier your job is, I would assume. Yeah. So the Kings have brought in, Godin, Studnicka, Malott, but also a lot of AHL signings. There seems to be the same focus in the AHL signings as there was in some of the NHL acquisitions, as far as toughness, willingness to get uncomfortable, shall we say. Are Are you happy with the options that have been presented to you? Because there's a lot of guys that you could make a roster out of.
Yeah, no, there is a lot of guys, and the one thing I have to say, we created our own little identity end of last year with the rain. I'm saying, especially in playoffs, the way that the toughness, the grit, the way we played. The way other teams were afraid of the rain, I think that's something stood out for sure. Talking even in the summer to some other teams, they noticed it right away. So we kind of created that. What is really good, and that is something we want to continue, right? And it's not just the Dooley or the Connaughton. He left, but we wanted to have, still have toughness in our lineup, enough toughness in our lineup to scare some other teams. And, those guys are still very, very important. And I think that's something, the Kings were missing too. And that's why they went out and got some of those guys of type of players as well.
Toughness is, we always almost equate it to like fighting, but I feel like it's so much more than that. Today, like it's not about fighting, it's about the way they play the game. Like, how important is it to get guys who play the game that way, not just like what we used to think of?
No, and I always say it's not about fighting. It's really don't. But it's getting under someone's skin. It's getting into a forecheck, right? They should know when certain guys are on the ice, right? If there's a face-off, the opponent forward D, they should already know. Shoot, those guys will be. You got to be ready that shift, and that's something. Again, that's what we created with the rain, and that's something we want to continue. Can you play that way the whole 60 minutes and do it over and over? Probably not. You gotta have enough skill too in your lineup, and that's why we had a really good mix, right? Again, but that's something we want to build on again this year.
I'm going to steal a question that Zach used with Nelson Emerson. We spoke to him less than a week ago. Who is on the Ontario Reign roster coming back that you are familiar with that maybe Reign fans, Kings fans don't talk about or think about enough, who's a really important part of your team?
I mean, I'm going to keep, the Thomas, the Turka, I'm going to keep them out of it because hopefully they're out. I think one of the guys will be Ward. He made a really nice stride last year. He's, for some reason, he reminds me a little bit of Toffoli a little bit. He can be very streaky. He doesn't know how to probably score like Toff yet, but he's really good defensively. He's sneaky, fast. He plays really well on the wall. I think that's something moving forward, could be a possibility. Hopefully, if it goes the right way, to see with the big guys, and there's some, I think Lee and Hellenius, those, it's just the next level, I would say, from, leaving, having the big guys leave, I'd say the big guys, and now you're having that second layer. I think those are the guys I'm kind of looking for, to get to the next level and also, be a small possibility for the Kings.
I think Nelly's answer was Hellenius, right?
Yeah.
I've been listening to Nelly talk about Hellenius since he was drafted by the Kings.
Yeah, I know.
Hype him up. It's like he was so raw when he came in. Like, where's his game kind of developed to? I feel like he's had a couple years with you guys now, and he seems to have made a lot of strides from when he first came to like the player we saw in the playoffs last year.
No, I do think he still needs time, but poor kid, he came over here and he's so tall and then last summer he lost a lot of weight, right? Seems like all the baby fat is gone now and lost a lot of weight, so he didn't know how to actually play with that kind of. He never played with that kind of weight, and he had to figure out too his body a little bit. And it took him probably till Christmas, January, I think, and then slowly you could see, his game. So I was really, really happy about his second half of the season. I think he played a solid playoffs. He was really good. He's a very good killer, with his reach and everything. And him and Andre Lee and I had a really good connection. So again, those are the guys. Hopefully, he's gonna do even better this year because there's a lot to it. And but some guys, take a little bit longer than others.
You'll have to designate a new captain. Are you the kind of coach who likes to name the captain group from the coaching staff, or do you like to let the players sort of choose their own captain?
I think in the old days, it was always the team's choice, the player's choice, right, to be the cap. That's how I grew up. I don't think anymore, and I do believe in that we as coaches and, of course, with management, we will pick the right guy to move forward as a team captain.
How hard is it to do that when you might be looking at veterans who you've never worked with before and you don't know, who they are as players, but maybe not quite as leaders?
Yeah, no, it's sometimes could be a little bit tricky, and also have to be, some guys probably are disappointed if they're not a cap. There's different things. But again, it's all about communicating for me. I think I have a really connection to my guys, and I always explain much as I can and be honest. I think as long as you do that, you will be fine. And for example, we had a tough decision to make. What was it, 2 years ago with Tynan? Because he's not our draft pick. I think that matters too a little bit, right? We want to have guys who's been in our system, like drafted and stuff like that. But that time, during that time when we picked Tynan, Akil Thomas was not ready, right? Turka was not ready. All those guys were not ready. Would be a different story right now. But that time they were not ready. So we'll see where we're at this year, and but we will find one for sure.
All right. Marco Sturm, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. And Kings fans, watch the Rookie Showcase Friday, Saturday, and Monday for the LA Kings. A couple games on Sunday, and we'll talk to you soon.